Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lie.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Join Carl alongside frequent co-hosts Lisa Odie and Hollis Lewis as they explore dynamic conversations with guests from all walks of life. Let's Talk is proudly brought to you by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. Visit frankwalkerlaw.com. The conversation starts now. This is Let's Talk.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee with Let's Talk, and I have my co-hosts, both of them in the building today, Lisa Odie and Hollis Lewis.
Hello, hello.
And today has been one of those days when there's so many different types of topics in all over the place, and we've been trying to figure out exactly where we were going to go. And so, but the first one that I thought was really, really interesting was the situation with Rich Rod at WVU. They've actually have 59 new players. Now,
that's a lot. That's a team.
I mean, that's basically a team. You know, and my question in that is,
isn't that the most, Hollis, in Division I? Was that
currently right now?
Yeah, right now. It's,
okay.
Yeah. That's the top.
Yeah.
Are you changing? My thing to that is, let's say that the old WVU was doing this type of defense, this type of offense, and the players that I have and the offense and the defense that I'm going to do, maybe they don't fit it.
Yeah. But I don't even think it's a matter of whether they fit it or not. I think this is just the reality of what, and again, we beat this subject up to death, but this is the reality of college sports. Bobby Hurley, coach at Connecticut, I think they won a championship last year. He's going to, 50% of his team is going to be different. You know, I was watching an interview where he was saying that. And if like you're a new coach and you was a head coach somewhere else, you're going to bring other players with you. So it's going to be regardless of whether it's new system, same system. The reality is if you get a new coach, go ahead and get prepared to get a new team.
And that's pretty much been historically true, right? I mean, even before
I don't know to this degree.
Not to this degree.
You don't think?
I think
to this degree.
I think what you would do is you'd go out and you look for the players or position players that you needed and fill them. You're not like,
or you might like bring your quarterback, your center, your linebacker.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Well,
I mean,
they-
59 is like offense, defense, special teams.
Well, and, you know, now that you said that, they would have to sit out a year, right? If they would have with
absolutely.
the old
Absolutely.
rules. So that's why it didn't happen quite
That's
as
true.
often.
I mean, and then you got Arizona at 53, you got Mississippi State at 51. So the top three, I mean, you're talking about 50, and nobody is under 45. Or I shouldn't say nobody's, but of the top teams, nobody, the least amount of players that they have replaced, brought in, is 45.
That's wild, man.
And I wonder how many of those teams have a new head coach besides WVU. That would be interesting.
I'm sure there's something. There's got to be a few of them.
Sure.
But even at that, man, I mean, you know, you're just getting ready to start spring ball.
I mean, because you look at like North Carolina has a new coach. Obviously, WVU has a new coach. I'm thinking Arkansas may have a new coach.
Okay,
too.
and they're in that lineup, right?
Yeah.
With a
so
bunch
it's a
of
couple,
new
like
players.
I said, if you get it, like I said, it's almost a guarantee. If you get a new coach in college football, scratch that, college sports today, particularly basketball, football, you're going to have a new squad.
And go ahead.
So you're saying that, and I think that's true. My question, Lisa, is, so when my coach leaves, do I need to start thinking about where am I going to pack my bags? How I'm going to pack my bags? Because I'm either going to get sent or I'm going to leave. Am I right? I mean,
yes, fundamentally, you're right. I mean, either you're going to sit or you're going to leave. Yeah. But also, I think, too, not only you have to look at whether your philosophies line up with the same coach, because what the rules were and what the the expectations were of the former coach may not be the same as the new one coming in. So you got to make sure you're ready for that too, because already Rich Rod's had some things out there in social media that he's made some changes, and they're pretty out there. He's pretty
no TikTok
forward.
dances.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Hollis, do you want to kind of read out a little piece of that?
That's the one I know is the no TikTok dances,
right?
And that's big. That's what players do. That's what young kids do. That's what young people do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I think that's one he'll probably eventually lose.
You think he'll lose that?
Yeah, you're gonna lose that one. Eventually, that's just what they do now. That's part of who they are.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're right. That's all. That's what kids do.
But let me ask you a
adults,
question.
for that matter.
Yeah. Let me ask a question, Lisa. Do you think, far as the movement of college football, do you think it's anything other than for the sake of movement? Do you think like now kids aren't necessarily looking at, I guess they would consider philosophy and playing time and all these other factors, but do you think some of it is just say, hey, I've been here 2 years, it's just time to go somewhere else. I want to try something else just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, sure. They've got a passport to go wherever they want, whenever they want.
Yeah, I ain't heard passport.
Pretty much. So, if they think the pastures are greener somewhere else, why not go try it out?
But do you think it's even a matter of pastures greener somewhere else, or you just moving just because I just want to go somewhere? Like I literally think like I've heard like Kevin Durant say something similar where he's just like, basically I'm just going other places just to try it on.
I just think I personally think that there's an idea of, all right, I was here, I know exactly what it is, what's happening here. Now let me see if I can go somewhere else, regardless of whether or not I had success or failure. Where my original home is, I have to put my name out there because I think I can go somewhere else and maybe it's just better. And I just don't I don't understand that.
See, I understand it. I don't like it. But I get it. It's just I think as far as the continuity of what we've known as like college sports is changing. It's hard to keep up.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's hard to keep up because when you don't have this guy, I was thinking about like a guy like Tim Duncan, right? He probably could have left after his freshman year, but he stayed at Wake Forest for like 4 years and he was a staple and you knew he was going to be there.
Good point.
I just don't know if you're going to have like those type of guys like moving forward, any longer. And I think that's why, even like kind of the lore of like college sports for women is going to grow if they can sort of maintain the continuity that doesn't exist in men's sports anymore.
That's a good point. Yeah,
I really hope that the women's sport they don't open that door. I just think that it's just so inviting, and sometimes it's for your ego. I'm going to get out there and see who's all out there. It's
like who wants me?
Yeah, who wants me? And not appreciative of who's got you already. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some appreciation that you have to give to a place that you played, you produced, they appreciated you, they cheered for you, and now you're just up and leaving solely because I want to see what's out there.
Yeah. And I think, too, it also depends on the skill set of the player. Like some players are just, if you're at that elite level, excuse me, that, you're playing and you want better NIL, then you're going to be more specific about where you're going. Your passport's going to be a little more limited. Yeah, whereas if you're just a player that, you're just out there having a good time and want to see what things are about, you're just going to go out there and just...
I totally agree with that. But there's been players who have jumped out there into the portal and not getting hits.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There's a lot of them because again, you gotta have body of work.
Yeah,
to get in the portal. Right. You can't say, well, because I wasn't playing, I was sitting behind Hollis, I'm just going to jump into the portal and hope somebody's going to get me. Dude, you ain't got no film?
Yeah.
We don't know nothing about you? Why?
Yeah, and we're about to have some guests on here in a couple minutes, and I just want to give a little opening. We're going to talk to some track athletes, and I want to know, and I know like you ran track in college, you ran track in in high school. And I think it's one of those things where we're starting to slowly get back to track, because I think particularly for football players and just athletes in general, we're seeing the importance of it. So I think we got a guest on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. And this is a coach for West Virginia State University track team. Now, brother, how do you say your last name? It took three of us. We think we got it, but we don't know if we
Let's see who wins.
Yeah. It's John what?
It's Boisette. It's Boisette. It's a Haitian last name.
So I think Lisa won.
Win.
Oh, okay. Lisa won Boisette.
It's Boisette.
Okay. Well, I think I got the first part right. Yeah. But so just tell us a little bit about yourself. Like I mentioned, you're the track coach at West Virginia State University. The track team, both men and women, have seen some pretty historical success over the last 2 seasons for an upstart program. So kind of what's your background, Coach?
For sure. Yeah, you can't forget cross country as well. We do have cross country, but my background is I'm originally from Hartford, Connecticut. I went to school in Connecticut. My mom worked in the court system. My dad works for elevators. Sells elevator parts and things like that. But my background, really, I was a multi-sport athlete, boxing, soccer, and track and field, a little bit of football. But I got a bachelor's degree in sports education and kinesiology and a master's degree in health administration. I got my master's by the time I was 21. But just my work ethic and everything, I owe it to my parents and my grandmother, where we were just taught that we always got to come to the table with half, right? Mm-hmm. So when I took over this program at West Virginia State, I seen a gold mine, in my opinion. I had about maybe 10 other job offers, but I seen location. I seen how close you were to ideal cities and things like that. And I knew if it was built right, that it would sell and be marketable.
Now, where were you at prior to coming to state? Where was your coaching jobs before that?
See, that's interesting. So my first coaching job was a graduate assistant position at Regis College. I graduated college, undergrad, and then I went to Canada for a year to run pro.
Wow.
But my time in Canada, within 6 months in Canada, I got a phone call to do a free master's degree as a graduate assistant. So I took that opportunity because I knew there wasn't many opportunities to get a free master's degree, especially at a school like Regis College, where it's around $60,000 to $70,000 a year.
Wow.
So from there, graduating from there, I brought that program, their first All-American and Nationals, with Fatima St. Hilaire, and we won the conference on the men and women's side 2 years straight that I was there, and broke every school record multiple times. So from there, I went to Utica College in upstate New York, and I was under Jim Lemieux as an assistant coach now. And went there, and we broke almost every school record, and we took, I think, 6 kids to nationals as well. But I've mentored, my mentors have been Harvard and Keba at Harvard as well. And then I went to Lees and McRae in North Carolina, and we brought them their first All-American indoors, along with 3 national qualifiers as well. Then I went to Post University, and I took a program in Connecticut. It was closer to home, and I thought it was my plan, you know what I mean? But, God reminded me, like, nah, it's my plan. So they announced, like, within 3 months of taking a job, they pulled me into the office, and they go, hey, we're going to cut the track program, but we're going to keep it online. You can keep the pay, but we don't want you to bring anybody else in. And I made the decision to leave. I said, you know what, I'm going to leave. I did a lot of interviewing at a few schools, and I took the job at West Virginia State University. I do have some family members that graduated from there, and it just seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
Well, we're glad you took it.
Yes, sir. Hey, so this is Carl Lee, man, and I coached football there, and I've always thought that football athletes should run track.
You ain't never told me that.
Because you couldn't win. I didn't look. I didn't need him to run track. I already knew he was slow.
Right. Out there doing something.
Yeah, so ignore him, bro. So one of the interesting things that I'm wondering is, Are you recruiting these players coming in, or have you been able to get a couple football players, couple basketball players, couple people from campus, or how have you actually managed to? Where are you finding these athletes from?
I think I just built my brand. I used to do a lot of private coaching. Still to this day, I private coach professional boxing, professional MMA, but I've always delivered my promises. So I remember I coached this kid named Joe in Massachusetts. He was a Caucasian male, about 6'5", 230, and his grandfather paid me to train him in the 40-yard dash. He's like, I need him to go sub 5 seconds. So Joe actually won a championship at Albany University as a lineman. But I remember they gave me a month, and I got him down to 4'7" and his weight dropped down, I think, 230. I think he came in at 250. So if you look at my track record, no matter what school I've been at, I've always brought in 50 to 30 kids every year. I've always broken records every year. And I haven't had one university that I've been at that I didn't have a national qualifier. Wow. But I've been looking for my moment. But based off my motivation and my drive, the opportunities was really never there. I always had to work under somebody. A boss will always get a promotion somewhere else. And I had the experience. My best friend is Kadon Samuels, national pole vault.
Let me ask you this, because I just want to jump in. And I think the question is like, are the athletes that you currently have on the team, are they already like playing other sports at West Virginia State, or they're being recruited to come in and run track?
No, they're being recruited. They're being recruited for sure. I think the mindset was to bring kids that was already, but when I got there, I realized to have a perfect formula to build a team so quick. I had to bring in kids that knew nothing about the university and that I could mold and create a championship mentality. Not saying the other sports don't have a championship mentality, but if you're in track, there's a specific mentality you have to have. Because 100% is not good enough sometimes.
Yeah. Hi, Coach. This is Lisa Odie. How are you tonight?
Yep.
Thanks.
Doing well, are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for coming on the show. I just have a quick question about the way you typically have a track practice for your players. How do you structure it to address like the different athletic needs and abilities of your kids?
Great question.
So, for me, I work probably 15 to 17 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that's all season long. That's 3 seasons. So I wake up 5 a.m. every morning. Right. We drive them over to Laley Field. We probably start practice around 6 o'clock.
Wow.
And then we have 2 groups. We layer it. So I have a 6 a.m. group, a 7 a.m. group, and an 8 a.m. group, and we kind of layer practice. So when one come in, one is finishing up. And we'll go based off event groups. The only event groups I don't coach as of right now is the throws. Last year I coached everything by myself, but we will go in, especially, and what helps me is in the preseason, I will do range of motion testing.
Okay.
And I'll have them come in and do things like Olympic lifts. I have a PT come in, Thomas. He helps me for free. But we'll assess them early in season to know what every athlete individual need is. And from there, I'll go in and I'll build a 27-week program, understanding that might change.
Right.
But we'll have something to go off.
Depends on their
Coach.
development.
Hey, so we don't have much time. So I know currently you guys had a very successful season this year, and you got one of our favorites. We actually interviewed her. We got Candace. You guys are at nationals right now. So just tell us a little bit about that experience. Is like taking an athlete like Candace, who's a local athlete, ran at Capital, has had a great career so far at state. Now you're at nationals.
No, Candace, working with Candace has been amazing. I actually did a whole research project on Candace.
Man, you be in the weeds, man.
She should have been here last year, but she was always sick. So I sat Candace down. I said, "What's your goal?" She said she wanted to run pro. I said, "Man, I've been around professional athletes my whole life. This is what it's going to take." I said, "The key ingredient is sacrifice, right? You can't do both. You got to sacrifice everything." So working with Candace when I got her, she definitely was talented. She was a diamond in the rough, but I never seen someone so uncoordinated before. So we spent the whole summer working together. We spent summers planning, communication. Her work ethic is amazing. She'll text me at 1 a.m. and watch her race. and then say, hey, I seen X, Y, and Z, and she knows I'm up because she knows we're starting a new program that I got to stay up long nights. That come with the territory.
Yeah.
So,
But,
Coach, we gotta.
it brings me.
Coach, I'm sorry, we gotta wrap it up. So just tell us, just again, you guys made it to nationals. You, like I said, I think you did very well in the conference this year and last year. So just let people, and I want to say this before we go, you guys do an excellent job on social media. Like you said, pitting the product, pitting the brand of West Virginia State track out there. So just tell people how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find us on social media, on Instagram. Our Instagram account is WVSU _TFXC. And then if you go online and just type in West Virginia State University, my contact information is on there. The main message I want to send to West Virginia is if you talented and you know you got some talent and you just need to develop, this is a place where you could develop. No one here on the team was a 5-star recruit. We all the athletes that's here have been developed. We're not looking for a finished product, but we're looking to produce here.
Nice,
Coach. We appreciate you being on, and promise you, me and Hollis at least will be down there to check it out.
Sure.
Come down and take a look at you, and maybe we can still lease and she can get a chance. So we'll be down to check you out. Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
So, to me, when I just in listening to him,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm ready to send my
He's
kid
all
there
about
now.
it.
Bruh,
Right.
like
Already
there's
sitting there
nothing.
now.
You don't really find track coaches, quote track coaches, that invested
Intense.
and intense. That's he could be a coach. He could be a football coach.
And I love it. And I think just getting back to it, because I know we spend a lot of time on this show talking about, athletes here locally. And one of the things I will always say is that we have to, as far as football and basketball players, develop athletes, boys and girls, we have to get back to track. We have
Sure.
Track has got to be almost a baseline.
It is. I can tell people this: without track, I don't have the football career that I have. It's speed, it's endurance, it's all of those kinds of things that you don't think matter.
Agility,
And I was thinking about you last night, and did your experience running track, because it's kind of just you out there, did that correlate to your position playing cornerback? Because it's like really, I think of cornerback and track as almost kind of 1-to-1. Really, it's just you.
It's yes, I think so, and part of that is because speed is everything on the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Now when I say everything, like there's people who can run. If you can be faster than a whole lot of folks, that makes the coverage a whole lot easier because you're not worrying about that particular guy.
Plus, just the mentality.
And conditioning. Doesn't it make the conditioning year round? I mean, that way you're not losing so much over your spring and summer months.
That's a good point. Great.
I'm talking about 16-week workout plan for 4 weeks of training camp, for 16 weeks of the season. So I'm putting in 16 weeks, 5 days a week now, all through the off season, just to get through 4 weeks of camp.
Right.
And then 16 games. The 16 games is easy.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Camp is easy. Conditioning, I'm not worried about the conditioning. I don't have to worry about that. Not with my off-season program.
Right.
So we're getting ready to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Let's face it, bad things happen to good people. Seriously injured in a car accident, trucking accident, or even wrongfully arrested. Life happens, and when it happens to you, you will need sound legal advice and aggressive representation. That's when you call attorney Frank Walker at 304-413-0179. That's 304-413-0179. Lock it in your phone, text it to a friend. 304-413-0179. Or visit online at attorneyfrankwalker.com.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Visit frankwalkerlaw.com. Share your thoughts, ask questions, or suggest topics on our Facebook page. Just search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee. And don't forget to like the page to join the conversation. Catch past episodes anytime at WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk. And tune in Thursday nights at 7 or Sunday evenings at 8 for Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Now, back to the conversation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and Hollis, we have another guest.
Yeah, we have another guy. And again, on this show, we spend a lot of time talking about youth athletics, youth sports. You know, Coach, he runs the youth program down at the city of South Charleston. We've all been involved with youth sports in some capacity. So we have not only a youth athlete on the line, but we have an All-American in the national championship. Are you there? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So we have Ashlyn Newton. I messed up your name. Hello?
Hello.
Hey. So
Hi.
Hi, Ashlyn.
Hello.
So first of all, congratulations. You won the national AAU long jump, and then you got second place in the 60-meter hurdles. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
that's amazing.
How was that experience?
That experience was really kind of fun. I mean, well, it was kind of hard too because in the 60-meter hurdles, I've kind of false started twice, and that made me a little bit nervous going into the finals.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and talk to us about overcoming that adversity, where like you were maybe afraid you were going to get disqualified, and then you had to actually come back and then do the race. So how was that? Just like coming back from that?
How it was like coming back from that?
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, I got to pull it together. I just got to persevere and do it.
Nice.
Ashlyn, this is Carl Lee, and I'm sure that you probably don't know anything about me, and I'm only going to preface this by saying I was a professional athlete for quite a while, and in high school, I tried to run. I was a track guy, okay, and I loved the hurdles, right? I loved them. I thought they were like the coolest thing ever. So I tried to run the hurdles, and I get into we're in the first meet that we have. We're at Lately Field, which is our big field here in West Virginia. I get over the first hurdle, I'm good. I get over the second hurdle, I'm good. I'm thinking, oh man, I'm good. Third hurdle,
no.
My heel caught the top of the hurdle. I literally went over. I took out 2 hurdles over, and I was like, never
That's
again.
not your event, Carl.
I said,
that's not your event.
There's no way I could run it. So my hat is off to you, because to me, that is the most. That skill set in hurdles has to be the greatest skill set. And how old are you?
I'm 11.
I couldn't do it at 18. And you're doing it at the highest level at 11. My hat is off to you, because I just can't imagine how much time you have to put in. What? Help me with this. What is a typical workout day for you? Let's say for the hurdles specifically. What would you do? What would be your normal day?
So for the hurdles, my normal day would be I do some stretches, do some quick sprints, then I'll start doing like some hurdle hops, then I'll start doing full approach to the hurdles.
My problem was I didn't do none of that on the front end.
None of the warm up.
I didn't do the warm up, so that's why I guess I wasn't very good.
Carl didn't put in the work, Ashlyn. You just didn't do it like you are, girl. Congratulations. Hey, Ashlyn, this is Lisa Odie. How are you this evening?
Hi. I'm good.
Good. It's good to have you on the show. I'm so impressed with all your accomplishments. Hey, I just have a quick question. And if you don't have an answer, it's okay, but I hope you do. Who is your biggest inspiration in track and field? Do you have one?
Yeah. My biggest inspiration is my mom, because I always try to be better than her.
and just for reference, her mother was a volleyball and track athlete at West Virginia State during our time there. So Nichelle Newton, she was an all-conference volleyball and track athlete. So yeah, you got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's an awesome answer.
Yeah. So again, so what are your ultimate goals with track, and kind of where do you see yourself at, like maybe in high school?
In high school, I want to try and make it to the Olympics, and I also want to try and jump better than Tara Davis.
Nice. I love him.
Yeah.
You can do it too.
Is your mom? Can your mom hear us?
Yes.
Yes. Hi.
Hello. How are you? Tell me a little bit. Good. Tell me a little bit about what you're seeing in your daughter. Like, what is it? Because to me, just us listening to her, clearly, like, she's well advanced. To me, the mental side of her is just amazing.
I'm enamored.
Yeah,
I'm not going to fit it any
So
other
tell
way.
us a little bit about like what this is to you. Like when you listen to her, you look at her and you see what she's doing. Like what are you like? You're in awe. What? Tell us a little bit about that.
Really, I really am in awe. I look at her and I just remember myself at her age, and I'm like, oh no, it's not even comparison. It's not even at all. And like she said, it was surprising that she said that I was her favorite track athlete, because I know she really looks at a lot of other ones, and that's saying something, that I guess I'm doing something right. But in terms of just mentally preparing her, I just tell her, like, hey, if you want to do this, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. Because, again, at the end of the day, you're still just 11 years old. And I want to make sure she reaches her goals. If she wants to make it to the Olympics, I believe that she can. In terms of athleticism, she has it all. She not only that, she's a very good student, too. She makes all A's. She's just a really good person.
She's well-rounded.
Yeah, she really is. Mm-hmm. And just to speak a little bit to, her jumping and what she is doing and her capabilities now, just to give you a perspective, her best jump is a 17.6. Now, 17 feet is what jump now.
That's impressive.
Can you please say that again?
Oh my goodness.
Are you 17 feet?
And mind you, it's just still indoor season. Well, we just finished indoor season. She still has the whole outdoor season to kind of really, really do her best. And her goal is to try to get to 18 before the end of outdoor season.
So what was the winning jump at the AAU National Championships? What was
so
that?
her jump was, she had the winning jump. She was a foot and a half behind the board. For whatever reason, we couldn't get our footing down, but she still out-jumped everybody, at least by 2 or 3 feet.
Wow.
She jumped a 15.11.
Oh, nice. Wow.
15.11.
That's not 11-year-old jump.
It's not.
It is if you're Ashlyn Newton.
Yeah, I guess so.
So what's next as far as you mentioned? So we had the indoor AAU season. That's national championship. We did that. What's next after that?
So we're going into the outdoor season, and we're going to be participating in the USA Track and Field division as well as the AAU division. So we'll be teetering back and forth through both of those divisions all the way up to their national meet. And that's usually in August, end of July.
Awesome. All right, let us talk to Ashlyn one more time.
Okay.
Let us talk to Ashlyn.
Hi.
All right, so Ashlyn, we're going to close out, and again, we congratulate you on everything you're doing, and we just hope that you keep on doing it, keep on having fun and having a love for what you're doing. So do you want to, got any closing message? Where can people find you? Where can they learn more about Ashlyn?
They can check out my Instagram page that's ran by my mom. It's it's Sunshine7.
Say that one more time.
It's Sunshine7.
All right. Anything else? Thank you, Ashlyn. We appreciate you. Thank you
and good
so
luck.
much.
Thank you.
Now,
I know your heart over there. Just look. Love that.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that little girl right there would be my hero. You know what I'm saying? Like even just hearing her talk. And mom's sitting right there, and she's talking as if like she's grown up. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love it, and I'm gonna put this on you. We need to get some kind of video of her. Okay. I'm sure mom has recorded her running or something.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
jump.
we need to get that. And if anything, just put it on. Let's put it on Let's Talk so other people can see it.
That would be great.
Yeah, because I think she's a special athlete as a whole.
She's going places.
So now we did that. We got to get into the meat and gravy now. Let's go ahead and get to what we came here for.
Oh boy!
So we come here for, Coach.
Well, I'm thinking.
I think it's Daddy Ball.
All right, so let me. I'm
open it up.
I'm gonna open it up. All right, so the term "daddy ball" has been something that's been around for a while, and it's my definition of it is when dad basically tries to control everything about his son, his daughter, to make them be part, not really part, but be the starter, be the best player, all of that kind of thing.
That's actually a great definition.
Yes, that's
But there is an official definition.
Oh,
guys.
okay. Oh,
there's
yeah,
a Google.
Give us that.
Google. It's amazing what Google can do, right? GTS.
Okay.
It's like, so I typed in daddy ball. And so this is what I got. I got basically two separate definitions, and I'm going to read it word for word for you guys, and then you guys can tell me, because I have kind of
You surprised me on this.
I know, right? I have an inclination of where, if we're going the route I think we are with LeBron, which one really kind of is LeBron's category, so to speak. So the first one is a term used to describe when a parent coaches their child's sports team and favors their child over other players. That's one.
Okay.
The second part is a parent creates a team around their child, even if their child isn't a strong player.
Wow. See, I've seen that sort of situation.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
So right there, to me, don't you
There's
think?
some travel ball stuff that's being created by that.
Yes.
Yes.
So and let's just break it down, because when we seen Daddy Ball, and when we say Daddy Ball, we're going to keep it at the highest level, right?
Right.
So we've seen the Primes, we've seen the LeVar Balls, we've seen the Richard Williams, and now you got a situation in which LeBron and his son Bronny. And I think to the other ones that I previously mentioned, it's probably not so much of an argument as to their merit to where they deserve to be. I think that argument can be had with Bronny and LeBron's son. And there was a recent event with him and Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, again, to my knowledge, and to the talking points that I've heard from Stephen A. Smith regarding LeBron's son, it was always in reference to say, hey, he's okay, he's a G League player, and LeBron did him a disservice by pitting this much on him. That's the talking points that I've heard from Stephen A., and I don't agree with Stephen A. all the time. And I just think it was in poor taste, it was immature, and it was just almost a sucker move for LeBron to get up into Stephen A. Smith's face in that manner, in that respect, in that setting.
Yeah.
Do you want to go before I go?
I can. So I totally agree with what you're saying, Hollis. I think that was a total ambush. And it was courtside of a game. I mean, that whole situation, if LeBron had an issue with what Stephen has been saying about Bronny throughout the season on different, first takes or whatever, outside of first take, there were other ways to approach it. He could have picked up the phone. He could have called. I think in one of the clips that I saw Stephen A. Smith addressing all of this, he even said, hey, I would have flown out there and met with him one-on-one.
Yeah.
He said, if it was this much of an issue with him, he said, our relationships, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, they do have an abrasive relationship anyway over the years. But then I guess when this situation happened, it just kind of pushed LeBron over the edge. But still, the way he handled it is the problem I have with the whole situation.
I would have made LeBron slap the fire out of me and sue them for $100 million.
and okay, so even to your point, Hollis, what I'm looking at this as being LeBron, right? And you're talking about my son. I 100% get that. I can't let you talk about my son. But what the situation becomes is your son is an NBA player.
And a grown man.
Right.
My job, LeBron was talking about, or people talking about LeBron's contract. Stephen A. is his contract is right there. Yes, he just got one. So as good as LeBron is in playing, he's as good as a commentator as you can get.
That's
like him or not.
I didn't think about that, but that's
like him or not.
That is a fair point.
So now, when you walk up on him, it's no different than somebody walking up to LeBron. We even. We're even.
That's a fair point,
yes,
Coach.
We're even.
You finally got some good points. Yeah. I can say that. That is a good point, Coach.
We are even.
That's a good point.
You don't have nothing on me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now,
because we are equal. Okay,
we're
equal
with you.
Right.
So now, I don't care how big you are. Because at the end of the day, slap me. And now tell me where your career going.
Yeah.
So there could not be any hands on.
Yeah. And I'll jump in, and I think this little injury LeBron got, I think that's a suspension.
You think? You think that was a suspension?
It could be.
I think it's a suspension.
It could be.
I think they don't want to say that, but I think that's what it is.
Okay.
This is my opinion. That's just conjecture. That's just opinion.
Okay. And
that's valid.
And it's valid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think, again, stepping in for your son is fine. The moment that your son becomes a NBA player, as you call him, he's susceptible to any criticism from any media outlet. And you don't have a right to come back on. You don't have that right.
But and to your point, is it okay for him to step in?
No.
In any accord at this point, because even if they talking about his personality or whatever, taking personal shots, is it okay? Your son is a professional athlete. He's on the same stage as you. Is it okay at this point to step in with anything, or do you just let him go?
No, I think you should let him go.
You have to let him go.
But let's look at this from another angle. Let's think about the way Bronny was brought into the NBA. We all know he got the opportunity because of his dad.
100%.
Daddy ball.
We all know that. Daddy ball.
At the highest level.
Yes, the whole conversation we're having, daddy ball. But don't you feel like no matter what Bronny does, people are hypercritical of him? No matter what he does, he is held to a higher standard because of the way he got his opportunity compared to other players. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm saying that's simply what happens with him.
So are you saying may make LeBron a little bit more sensitive to the situation?
I think so. And also it's just he's an easier target because his dad is LeBron. Like Stephen A. Smith would not spend as much time on the subject of Bronny if his dad wasn't LeBron. If he was just a run-of-the-mill player that
Tim
was
Hardaway's
playing
kid or a bunch of other
I disagree. I think anybody who brings their son into play and does the exact same thing that LeBron done, because I'm not drafting your son.
They don't get the notoriety and the media coverage like LeBron gets.
But to your point, I don't think we've ever seen a situation in which basically LeBron strong-armed the Lakers and said,
exactly,
if you ain't getting him, you're not having me. I think we've seen a bunch. NBA, particularly the NBA, we'll stay there, is filled with nepotism at this point. There's a lot of second and third generation players, but I don't think we've ever seen a situation like that.
Exactly, and he should have never got off the bench. He should have never been in the game.
He should have never been in the game.
And then the fact that he ain't on the team now, then how is he in uniform? How is he part of your dressing team that's going to come out on the court and play? LeBron took daddy ball to the epitome of demanding this. So if you can demand this, then you got to be prepared to take any criticism because you were wrong.
That's
your
100%.
Son couldn't play.
I can't disagree with that.
Your son couldn't play.
I don't even have a rebut to that.
No. Now,
I always got a rebut.
all those names that you named, all those players played.
You Walden, Hardaway.
They stepped up and played.
Yeah.
LeBron's son cannot step up and play.
Yeah,
and so ain't no use you mad at the commentator who are saying he can't play.
Okay, but let me ask you another situation then. And again, this ain't daddy ball per se, but like the Greek freak Giannis of Milwaukee. Basically, he brought his brothers in. Mm-hmm. So would that be similar, or is that a different situation?
The question, my question is, because it's really only daddy ball, brother ball, mom ball. It's only that if, to me, it only gets that way if the players can't play.
Okay.
If the players can play, if they can, if they show up, then
that's
then it's like okay.
So even if the only reason they got the opportunity to try out for the team was because it was daddy or mommy or brother or whatever you're saying, it doesn't matter the talent level.
I'm going to say no.
There's undiscovered players out there that are talented that will never get the opportunity to go play at the NBA because they don't know anybody.
Absolutely. But again, to those examples, you had to actually physically, mentally, emotionally make the team.
So I guess what you're saying is that regardless of how you got the opportunity, if you're ripe and you can play and you can feel the shoes, it is good. Yeah. But at the point we're talking about, we're not sure he can do that.
If I'm prime and my son, I ain't going to go to pro. I'm going to just go talk college. I'm going to put my son in this position. I'm going to put his buddy at this position because I know them and I know what they can do. Now, we saw what they can do.
They can play.
And while that,
all
you can make the case. That's the epitome of a daddy ball, but they can play.
Okay. See, I like that definition because I think you've sort of expanded it. So, because to your point, Lisa, looking at the second part of that definition, if I'm building a team around my son and my son or daughter, they can actually play and do the job, then that's a different situation.
A different thing.
Yes.
If I'm bringing somebody in who just doesn't have the talent to do it.
And basketball, and I've seen this, in youth sports. Dad brings son, son's a starter, no issue. Son can play, no issue. Son shoots the ball most of the time, it's an issue. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Because at some point, Dad's got to say, hey, stop shooting.
Pass it.
You got to pass it. You got to be a team. It's got to be a team. Daddy ball's okay if it's managed, if you can manage it, which I think is really difficult, if you can manage it to the point your son is just a player. If my dad was a coach, Brown probably ain't playing.
That's crazy.
He probably ain't. Pops,
I mean, that's a good point.
My pop's playing me. I'm getting the game. I'm sorry.
I make one mistake. Dad pulling me, and he probably pulling me for the game. You should have known better than that.
So, okay. So let me ask you this. I think what Coach is saying, the issue ain't necessarily daddy ball. The issue is saying pitting somebody who's not qualified or prepared in the position. Would you agree with that? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that is a good, valid way to redefine it because, we always just think about, daddy ball being for those that aren't as capable as the other, teammates. And now we're looking at it as, yes, as long as daddy is, first of all, he's regulated in how he lets his son participate in the sport. Right. He doesn't overemphasize his son over the other players. That's part of it, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other part is they legitimately can play whatever sport it is.
Right.
They are legitimately qualified.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I really can't be mad at that because I didn't necessarily think about it like that. I think to your point, Lisa, there is a balance there because even if he can or he or she, if they can play, then there has to be an emphasis on, particularly if you're talking about like little league youth sports.
Yes,
you got to get everybody else involved.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just think, and again, I'm looking at it from maybe a different perspective. I just never thought we would see like daddy ball this much in our face at the highest level of sports. I never thought I would see an NBA player like this, or even a prime to a degree. How not necessarily his kids can play for sure, but just the marketing that he built around them. You know what I mean? I think we've seen this even like a King Griffey. He played with his dad, but I don't think it was a relationship where dad pitting you on. King is great. He's better than his dad.
Right.
So I never thought we would see it at the highest level to this degree.
And it's leaving a bad taste in some of the NBA fans. I think it's leaving a bad taste with the fans.
Well, and again,
to me, it knocked LeBron out the GOAT situation.
I'm so mad you said it because that's exactly where I was going to go. what that did for him
his legacy.
it knocks his legacy.
Right.
That
His
conversation's over.
Yeah.
Because I think to a degree, you getting your son there, that's one thing. But Michael Jordan would never.
Oh, no.
Michael Jordan would never.
No.
I don't care if his sons was good or not.
No.
He would never.
Because what Mike's going to say about his son if his son can't make it, right? I can't put my name on you.
Exactly.
I can't put my name on you. Shame on LeBron for putting his name on his son.
I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that.
No, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the problem.
That's a personal thing.
Yeah.
Take the SON off of it. You put your name on a potential NBA player, and he failed. Did you not know he was going to fail? Maybe you didn't. See, because at the end of the day, he is an NBA player. He's a player that LeBron stood up for to hopefully be able to get him in the NBA. He ain't his son. He's a potential NBA player. He got drafted because LeBron said draft him.
Okay, and I'm with you. I'm leaning towards your way, but I guess I'm looking at it just slightly different because my problem is just that even the whole situation with his son, the Banana Boat Boys, everything else, it just don't foster environment of competitiveness. This ain't, to your point, this ain't like saying, all right, son, I'm gonna give you this G League rip, then you got it from here.
Fine.
That's a different, because now you got to be a
totally
dog.
different. Yes.
You got to go take the bus with the team. You got to go take the little terrible charter flights with the team.
Yep.
You got to go be a dog about it now. So you got to make your own way. I'm going to give you the boost up, but I'm not going to carry you on my back. So I think, and just for the bigger picture, I mean, we've talked about all-star games. We talked about the style of play. And to me, the LeBron era is just not one of just fierce, dogged, just competitiveness where we see guys just bite each other's head off for the top spot. It's just like everybody homeboys and everybody just nice and it's all friendly. It's just, it sucks to watch.
There's no spark. There's
no spark
spirit
in it, man.
Yeah.
And the biggest spark is you getting in an announcer's face that you a foot taller than and can pummel.
I saw, Lisa, I saw earlier today, they were showing some clips of LeBron flopping.
Oh, man.
Okay.
That was great.
and there's no contact. Like there's literally he's falling and there's no contact and he's getting.
That's 5 minutes of your life you'll never get back, right?
See, so I see you do that on top of seeing you try to do this.
Yeah.
But I can't make you. I can't put you in a GOAT conversation.
Yeah,
I just can't. You lost it. Because the GOAT has to be not just. I've never seen anybody. When you see great players who mess up, do something wrong, get kicked out of the league, we say, oh, you know what? He could have been one of the best players ever.
Yeah. I know.
When you mess up, you don't get in the conversation of being the best.
Well,
you could have been.
I ain't gonna kick him out the conversation.
I'm not kicking him out. I'm not necessarily kicking him out.
He ain't the GOAT. He's a GOAT, but he ain't the GOAT.
He's one of the best players ever to play in the NBA.
On and off the court, I would say. On and
Longevity.
off the court.
He's played
longevity, all that.
Family man, all that, no trouble.
I appreciate the family man, but you let your family, you let your family, your family.
You might need a job.
He redefines family man in the NBA for sure.
What you did with your family is you tried to bulldog him into being an NBA player like you. He ain't like you. He ain't like you. Because if he was like you, you don't even have to bother.
I know the second son is like him. The second one is like that.
Okay.
This one is
Bryson.
not because
he is. Yeah.
Yeah. The second one, Bryce, I think is his name.
And the thing the thing that I think that LeBron should have looked at is when you came through straight through. Like everybody was looking at you. Everybody wanted you. Everybody.
He had the most pressure of any athlete in probably history.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at your son, do you see that? Do you see that storm of people like, oh, we got to get Bronny. We got to get him. If you don't see that,
haters, dude, and it's a lot to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, Like, if you don't see it, bro, you got to let him. You got to let him sit on the side, bro. Get him a good seat. Get him a good seat. Court side.
I think we pressed a button over here on Coach. I'm telling you, he's
I knew it was going to be something.
I just felt like it was a bad situation.
Yeah,
I just thought it was a bad situation.
That just was not conducive of GOAT behavior. Like I said, you just don't, again, we're talking about him in the context of being a professional athlete.
Right.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say anything personal about that young man. It ain't nothing personal.
Right, nothing personal.
This is just professional athlete.
Yeah, and
that's just LeBron. It's just LeBron's issue.
Yeah, and we have to throw some kudos out to Stephen A. Smith. I thought he handled this pretty well.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen some AI stuff out there that was totally fake that gave another perspective. But overall, what the interviews, he's been very down to earth about the explanations of how it happened and why it happened, and he's been gracious.
I told you, that day he signed a $100 million deal with ESPN. Mm-hmm. I would have got me another $100 million. I'd have been up to. Because you would have slapped me, you would have punched me right in my mouth, and I would have been on TV with a cast and a neck brace on Oprah with Louis Farrakhan talking about we need peace in the community.
Rein them in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, while Hollis is collecting all his money, we got to get out of here. We appreciate you being here, and we will get back with you next week. We're out.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Visit frankwalkerlaw.com. Share your thoughts, ask questions, or suggest topics on our Facebook page. Just search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee. And don't forget to like the page to join the conversation. Catch past episodes anytime at WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk. And tune in Thursday nights at 7 or Sunday evenings at 8 for Let's Talk with Carl Lee.
If you fall, dust it off and get back up on your feet. Anything could be a win, yup, even defeat. They say sugar bad for you, why is victory sweet? Couldn't play with big kids, I had to sit in the street and watch from a distance, but over time I grew. If I put in the work, in no time I'm due. Everything that I worked and prayed, I'm okay. If you ask me, how did I do it, I'm gon' say, you gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work. 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 You gotta work.